This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord hath made.
Hello, and welcome to our podcast. This is Unity Church of Chatsworth. Our spiritual leader, Reverend John Washington, and I am Michelle Washington, RN, pastoral nurse.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord.
Our scripture for today is from the Gospel of John. Michelle?
The scripture for today is from the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. From the Revealing Word by Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity. The metaphysical meaning of power. Spiritual power is omnipresent. It is released in our body by spiritualizing our consciousness. This divine energy will surge through us as we erase negative thoughts from consciousness and become one with God mind.
I would just be so delighted if you would begin with your Myrtle Fillmore quote.
Okay, and I'm going to begin with the Myrtle Fillmore quote with just a little bit of background on where this comes from for those who may or may not be familiar with the story of our co-founder,
Yes.
A co-founder of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, who was the wife of Charles Fillmore, who we quote quite often. And Myrtle Fillmore had a problem, a health challenge, that she was told as a young person that she had inherited the family disease of consumption, which is what tuberculosis was called at that time.
Correct.
And so she was in the throes of having weaknesses and bouts with difficulty with that. And she and her husband, Charles, were seeking different remedies and different ways of coping with that. Well, they went to hear a speaker whose name was Dr. E.B. Weeks. And Myrtle left that particular workshop with a change that affected the rest of her entire life. And she lived to a ripe old age of, I think it was 93 or 94, but whatever. As she walked away from the hall from that, she took with her an affirmation that Dr. Weeks had used in his, and she made it her own. And that affirmation is, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness.
I am a child of God,
and therefore I do not inherit sickness.